First thing, organizational things. There are two things for you, all you guys or girls sitting there. There are questions, three, or it's named tasks here, and there are questions you can ask in questions and answer sections. Please start filling up those tasks and start thinking about good questions while we speak. And I hope we have enough time in the end to answer most popular ones. But first, please, my dear panelists, let's do a short intro, starting from Urmo. What was your role in Smart ID and what you do now?
Hi, everybody. When we were launching Smart ID, I was on a stage of SK annual conference twice. First, it was 2015, and the year later, 2016. And basically, my role was to coordinate that all what I was saying on a stage would come true. And now I'm working at TextMagic as a Touchpoint product manager. Touchpoint is a customer engagement platform that allows sales, marketing, and customer support teams to communicate better with their customers. And basically, I'm doing there the same thing what was I'm doing here or in SK 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. I'm giving my best that the product launch in next year will be success. Thanks.
All right. Hello, everybody. I was working as security engineer at that time, and my job was basically to take mathematical formulas from cryptographers and translate them into something more developer-friendly. And also, second side was that I should take the information security risks and compliance and regulatory requirements and translate them into something more product owner or product management friendly. So I was doing my part there.
Hello. I was at the time software architect in Cybernetica. Basically with Aivo we formed a kind of tag team. Aivo did what he just described, and I had to make sure that this actually comes out as a working software, structurally solid and performant and so on. It was quite a challenging project. We were both involved from day zero. And today I'm doing pretty much the same stuff for Dynatrace Estonia, just the scale is about 2 orders of magnitude larger.
Hello. First, thank you, SK, for having me here. It's a great pleasure to be at this stage and have this 5-year anniversary of Smart ID. 5 years back, when we were starting with this project, or a little bit earlier, I was a project manager from Nortal side, mainly then responsible for that everything that was requested from us had to be delivered by time and with high quality. We were responsible for certificate issuance and enrollment processes. And now I'm working as a head of delivery unit at Nortal. We are building e-government core solutions, core building blocks, and electronic identity definitely is the most crucial one in that ecosystem. And yeah, we have had 12 years partnership with the SK almost, and it has been a great times.
Hello. I'm in a kind of weird situation because everybody else has actually actively sort of built Smart ID. I haven't. I really haven't. And I can't even say like what my role is in relation to these fine gentlemen, because for many of them I've been either a customer or a partner or a friend or a colleague for a long time before even the Smart ID was a thing. But in this particular context, I'm happy to say that I've been a customer, kind of a customer-facing person for Smart ID for a while, including, for example, Jio Reliance Infocom, which is the largest telecom in India, and we've helped them to take Smart ID and utilize it in their context. So I'm as the customer guy, hopefully sort of setting requirements and trying to see if what these fine folks have built actually works in real life for real customers.
Okay, thank you guys. And let's dive in to the history. And Andres, actually, you can continue because you had a very nice story about where the roots of Smart ID will go. I haven't even thought about that. Can you start with that?
Yes. As a hobby, I've been collecting stories about people who have been influential in Estonian IT ecosystem. And one of the stories was that, in fact, none of us would be here, basically, talking about this if there wasn't one person and one particular book. Apparently, at some point in the 80s, I believe, it was Monika Oit and Ülo Jaakso, academic Ülo Jaakso, came together. Ülo had brought a book on cryptography from the US. And these two guys, and a girl and a lady, if you want, however you want to call it, gathered a group of young people and started studying cryptography. And apparently it was in their very clear sort of vision that this cryptography is a significant field for Estonian Republic, and it's of strategic importance that this field has a very strong sort of competence basis in Estonia. Remember, it was in the 80s. Brezhnev was very much still alive and in charge. Estonian Republic was still not even a conceivable future. But these people gathered a group of young researchers and started working on building up the cryptography competences in Estonia, leading to these fine gentlemen being able to sort of build Smart ID on top of that knowledge. It's beyond me. That vision, that understanding, and that strategic thinking, that's just amazing.
Okay, thank you. Can we show that picture of that book?
Yes, that's the book,
Yes.
apparently.
Yeah, the funny story about that story is that when we tried to dig out, the book is published in 1992, not in the 80s. But the story is still good.
Yeah, I can confirm that the book is still in Cybernetica's office on the bookshelf, but yeah, the publication date is a little bit later.
But that's the thing with the personal stories, is that they don't actually have to add up at all because they are personal stories. It's how people remember them being, and I'm just retelling the stories that were told me. So
it's a very good story still.
Absolutely.
Let's carry on with.
Aivo, have you read this book?
I have opened it twice or three times perhaps, but I can say that most of the cryptography inside Smart ID and Split Key is not based on that book actually, so it's more recent.
Okay, yes, let's carry on with the next history moment, design and brand. We developed a very nice brand, 2016.
Yeah.
Can you remember, Urmo?
Yeah, when we start cooperation with our creative agency, Tank, we had open task from them to work out the new EID branding. And the brand what they came up initially was not Smart ID, but it was Cross ID. So,
can we show the picture, please? Carry on.
Yeah, if you see that, then you probably realize that the visual of Smart ID is much better than this one. But the interesting thing was that this Cross ID, it was inspired by X-Road or Crossroad. So, and we have already we made not just the brand, but the visuals of app, what you can see here, and also even Nortal was implementing some array APIs for this. But yeah, we had a cooperation with banks, and banks said that no, X cross, no cross. And the agency start working from scratch, and we came off with Smart ID.
Yes, do you remember, Kalevi?
Yes, those were actually quite interesting times because we were used to use a smart ID first, and then we were told that the name is not clear yet, so it will be there will be new name, rather will be new name, but we don't know what the name will be, and it's always with branding, so that you actually need to cook it first and make sure that you have the domains and trademarks stuff and things done. So we were kept in a secret, but we had to develop the products, right? And developers had to name somehow their things that we were doing, and so we managed. But it was difficult, but we managed. And at some point, yeah, when we got this cross ID brand, then we were using those titles in parallel, so Smart ID and Cross ID, and confusing around this. But in the end, when the Smart ID brand was finally locked down, then yeah, I'd say that everything got much better shape. And yeah, if looking back to this situation, then I'd maybe even sum it up like we had sort of a identity crisis in this identity project that we didn't know how to call it, but we managed to solve it.
There are only two complicated things in computer science. One is naming things, and the other one is cache invalidation. The rest is easy.
I have been sitting in one working group closed for the 3 hours to come up with a name which should be. Okay, but let's carry on. I have written down here QSCD, Journey or Odysseia, but I will skip that because I have much better. Or you have something?
Yeah, this is one thing what I was saying in 2016, that by the end of 2017, Smart ID is QSCD. It didn't happen by that time, yeah.
But we did it just later.
Just 1 year later, yeah.
Yeah, but the next thing I have written down here is export. If someone remembers, Smart ID was done because we wanted to export. Okay, export to the Latvia and Lithuania, our friendly neighbors, that we achieved already day one. But beyond, okay, Andres.
Yes.
Please.
Thank you.
There is a huge country there.
Yes, India. That's the for us, for me personally, the biggest learning of this journey has been that yes, it's cryptography, and yes, it's technology, and yes, it's all awesome, and it works very well, and it's very well developed and very robust architecture and all of those fancy things. However, there's this massive component of culture and sort of like these soft things on top of the technology that's actually hugely significant. From naming things, from logos, to the conception of what is identity. And these things differ quite significantly. And we have seen that even within the Nordic countries, the attitude of Baltic states towards identity is very different from, let's say, attitude towards identity in Finland, Sweden, or Norway, or Denmark. And so for us, that's the biggest challenge in exporting Smart ID, is to how do we make something that is inherently Estonian, that is born in Estonian cultural context. How can we transport that into a different cultural context and make people understand what the hell it even is? Like, I have OTP authentication. Isn't that as secure as Smart ID? What do you mean it's not? Well, really, it isn't. Like all those certifications, European Union. Like, what do you mean European Union? We're not in European Union. Like, these sorts of barriers we need to cross constantly, and that is like the bulk of work we do around export, I think. That's the biggest challenge, I would say. Technology is awesome. Problem with that.
Yeah, thank you. And regarding technology, Mart, how we managed to achieve through architecture all that awesome solution?
Hard work. Tons of legwork. But those nice screen mock-ups were displayed before. It's actually a very good foundation of any usability when you start with those screen mock-ups, that actually you can play around with what the user is seeing. But that, what usually happens is that that's the end of it. But actually, it's quite important to realize that there are those small details, small nuances in the software engineering, that how this all comes together as a product. And sometimes to make this flow on the screen very nice and very smooth and very understandable for the user, you have to go to the very bottom. You have to understand the culture, what Andres already mentioned, but you sometimes have to go to the very deepest, darkest basement of the software system you have. And not on the phone, but somewhere on the server side. And this is quite often something that is skipped, and that is costly in terms of user experience.
The user experience goes very, very deep down in the architecture. By the way, Mart is the only only programmer I've ever seen who literally has an Knuth Bible open on their desk.
I have seen others.
I haven't.
Okay, thank you, and let's sum up this history section with, can we show on the screen a first task, how often Smart ID is used, results. This is our, I would say, achievement. Mart and all other guys have been working with architecture, and okay, we still have some audience who haven't started with Smart ID. I hope you can find it. There is a Smart ID app. But rest, congratulations, you have been using the best available tool in the Estonia, at least. Okay, let's now go to the future. Yeah, where should we start? Post-quantum, perhaps? Aivo, can you elaborate why this quantum computing is relevant at all?
Well, you probably heard it before, that some kind of new kind of computers are being developed, and the rumor is that once the quantum computers are powerful or big enough, they are able to break existing cryptographic algorithms. Okay, but this is all I don't know, somehow far in the future. Some crazy scientists are doing that, and perhaps Google as well, but it's not relevant to us. Well, it is now, and kind of bad news is that the new algorithms, which are quantum computer resistant, are ready, and now we have to actually use that. So just a few months ago, or perhaps 1 month ago, National Security Agency of the United States announced that they are ordering United States government agencies to start transitioning to post-quantum algorithms. And they have a specific timeline. Luckily, there is still time. So after 3 years, all browsers and web servers will be using post-quantum algorithms. And how it relates to Estonia, I mean, browsers and web servers are quite commodity things, and we can use out of box. But the Smart ID and digital signatures is something else. So we have to come up with new solutions as well. And all those companies who are using digital signatures will have to transition to new software as well. So that's our next task in the future.
But why should we care today what one secret agency is telling to other agencies in the United States? Or when should we care?
When? Okay, so the timeline is something like 2030 when the transitioning should be completed, and more close timeline is 3 years. But why we should care is that everybody else is moving there anyway. And if we want to be interoperable with the world, then we have to go there as well. That's just the reality.
But Andres, how it feels from India? If you can.
I'm not in India. I'm currently in Tallinn very much. Quantum computing has been it's like the fusion reactor. It always seems to be like 5 years ahead. It's always 5 years. In 5 years, everything is going to change. Just you wait. And it's always 5 years. It was 5 years ago. It's going to be, I think, 5 years from now. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't upgrade things, because all cryptography gets weaker over time. So figuring out new ways is necessary, and funding all sorts of geeky research is just by definition just a good thing to do. So I don't have anything against going towards the post-quantum world, but I don't really think that there's going to be this massive quantum computer out there that's going to break everything.
So nobody is talking about PQC seriously in India currently?
No. I would the challenges in that ecosystem are very, very different. As I said, literally the entire Indian finance system runs on OTP, and it's considered brilliant. It's perfect. It's simple. It works, and nobody cares about anything much more secure. And that's how things are. And who am I to criticize a 5,000-year-old culture? They think about different things.
Okay, let's carry on. Biometric. How things in biometric industry affect us? Who should start? Aivo again?
Okay. Well, I have a personal opinion that biometrics is important and it's really usable, and we should study it and we should try to find a way to use it. However, perhaps it's not okay for every place. Also, combining smart ID and biometrics is not so easy as we thought in the beginning, or perhaps even last year. So I don't have any good answer to you at the moment.
It's a funny thing is that almost all new customers which we engage or want to have our customers, they always ask, why not biometry? Why don't you have support for biometry?
But it's messy. If you multiply 5 and 7, you always get 35 regardless of where you are in the world. But sometimes your face gets recognized and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes you haven't shaved, and sometimes you're just having a hard day. It's messy, it's unclean. Oof.
Andres, but it's so convenient. I really like it. I like to watch my phone and to get things done.
Eating with your fingers is always also very convenient, but you don't do that in good company, or at least I don't.
Yeah. What is the Andres? You have strong believing. I don't know, against biometry? Or
No, I'm not. I have nothing against biometrics.
What is the risk you see with biometry?
The risk in biometrics is very simple. In Indian context, it was their entire identity is built upon biometrics, like thumbprints. And I think it was within weeks after they introduced Aadhaar, which is based on biometric authentication, or identification rather. And within weeks, you could buy a prosthetic thumb of somebody for $5, literally. And that's my problem with biometrics. It's a good thing, but if you deploy it even slightly incorrectly so that it triggers some mechanisms in society that you don't really want to get triggered, then you have a just 1.3 billion person mess on your hands. And that's a really big mess. And that's my trouble with biometrics. Biometrics is awesome. In Estonia, if I lose all my documents, I show up and police and border guard and go, help me. They take my biometrics and they will issue me a new passport and a new ID card and everything is fine. And in that context, biometrics is absolutely necessary. It's absolutely vital. And if I open up my phone with my face, that's also very convenient and that works and that's also vital. But in between, we should really be very careful as to where and how do we use biometrics.
Okay, thank you. And let's go another, let's say, interesting topic about ADAS. Who knows ADAS? Hands up. Oh, I am in a good place. Who knows wallet and ADAS? Also good.
What about ADAS 2?
Okay. First intriguing question is, will be there physical governmental identity in force in future? And this is important because of ADAS 2 and wallet. And why not? Aivo again, please.
Can you repeat the question? Will there be a physical identity?
Will be still. Today we are relying on a smart ID to register a physical governmental identity.
Yes.
Good answer.
So the thing is that kind of physical ID document will be useful anyway, and I suppose that citizens of a country will need to have some kind of physical document anyway, but it will be quite rarely used, and I think that it will be used to do this derived credential out of it. Quite, I don't know if immediately, but very soon after issuing.
But what do you think about this wallet initiative?
Well, the wallet initiative is a very complex thing and very big thing, and it has been around for a long time already, and we still don't know how it's going to end. And I don't have any definite answers. So.
Okay, let's move on with Mart.
The physical identity document, it definitely, I'm pretty sure it has to be. Because when you look at the trends, both the ADAS wallet and the new hot key in the block called the passkey initiative by Apple and Google and Microsoft, they are both about interaction between machines when you look closely. And it's a very real and present danger that people, especially on the lower side of the digital divide, just fall into that black hole, that they lose their identity to the machine, to some, like, they become a Google account, and when this Google account is gone, they are basically gone themselves. And it's very real case in the United States already. So it's necessary to maintain kind of baseline relationship between a human and a government, or human or some kind of society. And for what we know, physical documents and that kind of centralized identity is so far one of the best ways to have this. And then on top of that, you can have all kinds of fancy technical things, which you can renew, which you can lose, because digital things you don't want to exist, they keep existing, and things you want to keep, they get destroyed. That's a very weird law of nature.
So if Google decides to close your account for whatever reason, so you are out of luck to actually get it back, because you have nobody to talk to. You can't go to the police station and say that, sorry, my account is closed, please help me.
Yes, and in the worst case, they don't even have to close it. You lose your only phone, which is connected to this account.
or somebody.
Andres, you had a nice story about this losing phone. Or was it Mart? I cannot remember.
So, like, losing phone is not a nice story ever. But but in essence, like Mart is absolutely right, because yes, there's the human end of it as well. Like if you like your OTP like gets used to take over your Gmail account, you are done for. Your only connection with society goes away, and that's a really bad thing. But from the government's perspective, it's not the Gmail account or your phone number who pays your taxes, and commonly, as far as I can know, I can tell iCloud accounts don't have children that go to school. Like, that's a very real person behind these things, and we must not forget that the relationship between the society and the person is between a physical person and a collection of physical persons. There's nothing electronic about that relationship inherently. It's a physical relationship. People live in a society in a physical way first, and then possibly the electronic stuff comes on top, exactly as Mart said.
Thank you. And the last topic about the future, global competition. Urmo, could you please introduce that, since you are working in a company which does not use Smart ID for some reason?
Yeah, okay. I will do a small intro about what is our business and how we are operating. TextMagic currently, our main customers are in US and Canada and Great Britain and also some other countries, Australia. And yet the reason why we are not using Smart ID is that where our customers are, there is no Smart ID at all. So, and regarding the new product that we are building, it will be also a global product, even more on more markets. And for example, one need, how, for example, we need to identify customers, or how our customers need to identify their customers, actually. For example, let's take a live chat example, that we are providing a tool. Customers can communicate via live chat with their customers. And the tool or the method that we are providing there to identify those live chat customers, it should be something really general, not specific to some area or country. Or and yeah, this is the reason why, for example, we and also, I would say, basically most of the SaaS providers are using those Gmail or Apple ID or some other global providers but who are operating globally. So those local things are not suitable for such businesses. And maybe also there is not need for that assurance level as well, what Smart ID actually is providing. So yeah.
So yeah, there is a huge market waiting us. But okay, we have covered all the topics. I hope we can. And now let's go to the tasks we have. First, can we show the results from the what is your favorite thing in Smart ID? Favorite feature. Well, I can read quick and easy. Signing. Do we have, my dear panelists, do we have something? We have that one. This is cool. Something surprising?
Yes, I find that awesome that somebody has said that their favorite thing about Smart ID is Smart ID. It's certainly true. I subscribe to that, but it's awesome in its statement, as a statement. I like it.
And phone.
Yes.
Yeah, and phone. Okay, before we go to the next or last task, what is your thing, starting from Urmo? One thing you want to Smart ID evolve in next 5 years?
Okay, let's imagine that all the people all over the world can register a Smart ID. Yeah.
Nice one, but I don't know, is it feature? Okay. User base is always a good feature. Okay.
Feature is that the registration is universal. I don't know, is it the QSCD or qualified level, or is it some other level, but to enable all the people to get one Smart ID and to use it. Yeah, this is my dream.
will be united by Smart ID. Okay, Aivo?
I can have my dreams.
Yes.
Smart ID in 5 years. What kind of feature? I would say new algorithms, and there is also going to be some kind of relation between Smart ID and wallets. But I don't know what that relation will be, because it's also a question, what is Smart ID? Is it an app? Is it a service? Is it a authentication tool? Or is it what is the essence of Smart ID actually? So and also what is the essence of those European Union wallets? So but that will be clear in 5 years, I hope, and in a positive way.
I will pick up this wallet thing. Actually, I was reminded of this a few weeks back by a former Latvian colleague I met accidentally in town. He lives in Tallinn, he has Estonian residency. Something I envisioned, or we envisioned, that never materialized, but which is actually pretty aligned with the wallet ideology, is that there can be multiple identities inside the same app. And it's a really real use case for those expats who move currently between Baltic countries. They have ID codes from more than one country, but they can have just one app on one device.
Okay, carry on.
I'd like to see Smart ID to evolve to new markets, to new countries. And if the customer are asking about biometrics, then let's give them some.
Yeah, by the way, just that's the top-ranked question, but we will come to that. Andres, last word, short, if you may.
Very difficult. Firstly, it was supposed to be rock and roll that's supposed to join the world, not Smart ID. But for Smart ID, I would say that the less features, the better. In my opinion, vast majority of products get so many features added to them that they are not usable anymore. Smart ID should not follow down that path. Be very careful in adding new things, new features, new capabilities, and try to keep it as simple and as usable and as awesome as possible without getting over the board with adding things. Things do not have to get more complicated all the time.
Thank you. Can we shortly show the results from the audience? The correct answers?
WhatsApp support.
WhatsApp support. Yeah. Pirusa will have some words about WhatsApp support. Yes? Later on, we have our own agenda. But let's go now to the questions from the audience. First question. How? I thought it's when, but it's how. Will you expand into Europe? Will you offer white label solutions? Yes, of course. But how it was, Mart? It's hard work and what?
Hard leg work.
Yeah, exactly.
Very carefully, as most things should be done.
Yeah, carefully and hard work.
I will add smart people also.
Smart people do hard work with carefully. Next one. How will European Union digital wallet relate to Smart ID? Aivo, can you take that one?
Yes. So EU digital wallet is going to be something that is able to collect the information about you, and you will be able to present that information to relying parties, like prove how old you are, like prove that you have paid your taxes, or prove your identity. And I think that Smart ID will be part of digital wallet solutions or very closely integrated with it. Because Smart ID currently is a electronic identification means in EU speak. And in that sense, it's sitting next to the wallet or inside the wallet. So time will tell, and what will happen. That's my guess.
Next related question: will wallet kill Smart ID? Or vice versa?
The wallet has to be built first.
Yeah. Anders, you had some strong opinion, I remember.
I have many strong opinions.
With wallet.
I mean, the wallet, we don't even know. Like these questions are very difficult to answer because at this moment there is no clear understanding as to what is the EU wallet. Everybody understands the vague concept that you must present like credentials, and that's all very, very well. But all the significant details are kind of like missing. There are blanks. And those significant details kind of shape the entire wallet concept. And without those blanks being filled, who knows? It might kill, hopefully not, but like we just don't know at this moment, which is scary because there are so many papers and so many workshops already around it that we should really know, but we don't.
Mm-hmm. I don't think either that it will kill because wallet is in its essence is a digitalization of paper documents, paper ID card and driving license, and then it gives a chance for an end user to actually like keep his wallet to the home and have just your phone with you and prove it, because there are some use cases where you need to present your ID card as a physical documents, but those are all different use cases. Smart ID is solving something different, and in that sense, I don't think that
like precisely like the fax machine allowed you to present your paper documents over long distances previously. So effectively, it looks like the European Union is going to sort of go and start sort of like mandating fax machines, which sounds really weird.
But there are also useful cases. I mean,
yes, fax machine. Fax machine is a really useful device, still widely used. Like,
I see that we will have a new topic for the coming years, wallet and Smart ID, and we will talk about coming years and years. How do quantum computers relate to Smart ID? Aivo, again, shortly.
Well, that's quite easy because quantum computers are big and relevant quantum computers will be able to break the cryptographic algorithms inside Smart ID. That's that's the unfortunate situation we have at the moment. And what should be done about it is not to move to elliptic curves because they are vulnerable as well, but to move to post-quantum algorithms and use them. And that is already, I wouldn't say started, but the research has started. So there are people who are studying that also in Tallinn and in Tartu. And
inside the Cybernetica.
Yes. So it's in progress.
You have some new book?
Yes, perhaps some new book will be published.
Yes, Smart ID on smartwatch. When? I want it. I definitely want it. Can we have it? I really hope so. Sooner. I don't know, or later. Let's see. At least next time we can speak about it. Okay. Why Latvia and Lithuania use Smart ID Basic, less qualified? Version not known in Estonia. Is it legal, technical, or some other reason? I would say it's a business reason. There is a need for I wouldn't use word less qualified, but it's in ADAS it's how it's the highest thing we are doing in all the Baltics, and then Next one is
ADES-QC.
It's ADES, advanced signature. And that's very well established level outside of the Baltics. And I'm wondering why we don't use it in Estonia, but I would say that we don't need. We have the highest thing and we are all happy, but not so highest thing is working very well, and there is a business need. And even if we go outside of the Baltics, mostly there is a question, is there a need at the highest level?
But I think that the reason is the book that was shown, is that somehow in Estonian psyche, it's like we trust cryptography, we trust mathematics. But in the Nordics, what they trust is the fact that if you log into a bank, the bank can go to the court and say, look, the person logged in, and then they clicked these buttons, and in the end, they made the payment. And somehow this is trustworthy. The trust is in a different place. In Estonians, it's mathematics. In Scandinavia and in other countries, it's in the organizations and in the process. Neither is better or worse, but it's just very different.
This is again about this book.
Yes, absolutely.
We can blame the book. But with this, we can end our very great session. And thank you all, panelists. And I have some gifts to today give out to you. Yes?